Now, whenever we work on any actual project, like, so you might have already seen, like when, let's say I'm on the client, okay, when I navigate to the employee, currently you can see it was empty. Or let's try slowing down the speed also. Then you will be able to see network. Let's open it outside. Slow 4G. Okay. I'm moving back to the client and I'm moving back to the employee. Hmm. Let's do it again. Okay. Just pay attention. Once I move back to the employee, so for some time, my the place where I'm showing the card doesn't show anything. So user doesn't know. Let's say still like I'm going with 4G. So it is showing with slow 4G also. It is not taking that much time. Let's try with 3G. Previously, if slow 3G was there, it was very slow. But now, yeah. So with 3G, you can see for so much long time, screen was ideal, nothing was happening. So sometimes actual end user won't get an idea like what is happening. So what do we do in this case? What should we do in this case? First of all, understand the problem,
Resolve.
Loader.
right? We have to show the loader. Now let's say if we have to use the bootstrap loader, let's go, either we can use image also. For the time, we will use the bootstrap loader. So the loader will be spinners. So let's say this is the loader we will use or this one. So now let's say I want to show this loader. What will be my condition and how I will write that condition? What will be my condition and how I will show the loader till API call is in progress. And once I get the data, I need to show I need to hide the loader and show the cards, right? So how I will manage this? Anyone? What will be the solution? It's very easy one. You should, everyone is working, so you should have somewhere code. You might have seen this type of code in your project. What will be the logic? Yeah,
API call.
Before
proper.
API call,
Mhm.
setting the flag as
Right,
true, and after API success, false.
right. So that's how you will know that API call is in progress. And once API call success you got, means subscribe is executed, you know that API call response came. Then you need to hide the loader, right? So we will use, instead of going with a normal variable, we will go for a signal. Okay. So employee list. So what kind of data we have to store into that signal? String, Boolean, what we should store,
Boolean.
right? Boolean also, string also we can show, but Boolean will be the ideal one. Is loader. Huh. Signal. What type of data? Boolean. Okay. By default, what should be the value? True or false? On the page load, what should be the signal value?
True.
True, because by
True.
default we have to show the loader, right? So now this is the variable where we are, this is the state where we are going to know the variable is true or not. Okay. Now, why I'm not getting this angle bracket? Okay. Now here we will use at the rate if. It's a signal, so we will access as a method. Okay. If this loader is true, we have to show our loader. So this will be the div. So this I will put it over here again, call. Instead of putting directly, I will put it in a call 12. Okay. And else to this, we have to load our for loop. Then our card will be visible. Fine. So see, our condition is if this signal value has, if this signal has a true value, either you do this or equal to compare also, same thing. Okay. If this signal has a true value, this call will be visible. If the signal value is false, then our card will be iterating. Okay. Now on the page load, we are making this true. Okay. Then once we get the result, meaning subscribe in the next block, we have to make it false. So this dot is loader dot. How we change the signal value? How we change the signal value? I need to make this signal value to false. How do we change it?
Update.
Update or
Notify.
Set.
Notify.
set? See,
Set.
when you will use update, when you want to update the value with considering the old value. So in case of array and object, right? In case of array and object only we go for a update, but it's just a primitive value. So we don't want to consider the previous value. We just want to change the value. So set method. Okay. What we need to do? False. Fine. Let's save. Let's save. Let's go to client. Again, I will change the network speed to 3G. Once I navigate back to the employee, see loader is visible. Once the API call is success, then our cards are visible. Understood? So instead of signal, you could have done it with the normal variable also. Again, it's just a flag. Either you do it with the normal variable or with a signal. Anything will work. Understood, everyone? What we have done? Sorry? Someone is speaking? Clear, everyone? We have created a signal. On the initial value we are setting is true. And once we get the API call data, then we are making it false. Okay. And in the HTML, we are just checking that signal. If the signal value is true, we are showing the loader div. Else we are iterating the card. That's it. Clear, everyone?
In the TS file where we have declared signal.
In
So
.ts.
if we,
Yeah, repeat one more
no,
time.
so here, we declare signal and just boolean, and
Hmm.
we do not declare true or false. So like a
It will
boolean
throw
variable
the
is
error.
default,
It will throw the error.
so
We
we
can,
need to define true or
no.
false.
See, when you create the signal, you have to provide the initial value. See, what are the parameters you have? Initial value. And this is mandatory. So just like normal variable we create, so it's not mandatory that you have to initialize it, right? But when you create the signal, it's mandatory that you have to initialize the value according to the data type. It's Boolean, so obviously true or false. Okay,
Yes. Yeah.
fine. Anyone else having any doubt? Clear, everyone? Okay. Now, just like we have shown the loader over here, where else we need the loader? Where else we need the loader?
For every API call.
Yeah,
Date
but
API call mainly.
right? So whenever you are doing the update, whenever you are making the API call, let's say we are in the client model pop-up, right? Once user click on this save client, we have to show loader over here, right? You might have seen, right? Whenever we save update, obviously API takes some time to process the data. So till that time, we have to show the loader. Otherwise, user will be keep on clicking, correct? Yes or no? We don't have any
Yes.
small form, right? Mm, all are big form only. Let's do the client. Okay. So in the client component, we have the API call integrated or no? We didn't integrate the API call. Let's switch to our different project, the regular practice project. Mhm. Yeah. car post API. Okay. So location. Fine. So for now, just pay attention to the network tab. Okay. Let's add some data. Now, in this form, we haven't added any loader or something. And on click of it, we are just triggering the API call. Okay. So see, I'm trying to click this button 3 or 4 times. Let me disable the debugger. Let's say first API call success. Okay. Again, see, multiple times I'm clicking the API call. So multiple API calls are happening. So is this good? Not right. With the same data, the scenario will be when this normally this bug or defect will come when actual users start testing the application or using the application. Okay. See now what happens. Let's say you deployed this application and your actual clients are using it. So what they will do, they will send provide the data and they will click on save. Let's say their internet speed is slow or our API is taking our API response time is slow. They will click on save button. Response is not there. Nothing is happening. Again, they will click. It can happen, right? Yes or no? If you are
Yes.
not showing loader or something over here, they might click multiple times, considering like nothing is happening. So again, duplicate data might be inserted or multiple API call is happening. We are keeping our servers also busy unnecessary. So to get rid of all this problem, we have to show the loader. Okay. Now, so in the table, when we have the get API, it was we have created a flag, and by using that flag, we have shown the loader. And once API call is there, then we show the data. Okay. Now, same thing, we have to do it over here also. But while doing, we can achieve multiple things. Okay. Let's say there we have created signal. Here I will create a normal variable is loader colon boolean is equal to, by default, I'm making it true. No, by default, we have to go it with false. Okay. Because on the page load, we don't need it to be true. Now, if this variable is true, when we have to make this variable true, when this variable has to be true, or let's be specific, is API call in progress. Okay. This is proper variable name. When this variable, we have to make it true. Over here, before triggering this API on save, yes or no? Because on
Yes.
click of save, we are hitting this API. Na? So before API call, we need to make this variable true. Is API call loader is equal to true. And once API call, we got the data, then we will make it false. Right? So we know that API call is happening or not, and API call is success or not. Now this same variable, we will use it in the form. We don't have the button icon. Let's use the icon button, or in the spinner only we will have button with the icon like this we need. Okay. So this spinner, this is the spinner, that particular class we need to add. Either you add it on the span, div, or I, anywhere. You just need to add this span, that spinner will be visible. Okay. If you see now, currently the spinner is available. When we have to show the spinner now, what will be the visibility of this spinner div?
Everything.
At the rate if. What will be the condition over here?
Is API.
If this variable is true, then only we have to show it, right? So if this variable is
Yes.
true, then only we have to show this span. Okay. Let's save and check. Still, we have duplicate API error. Duplicate API will be happening. First, we will see this. Then we will see the other problem. Okay. Let's open the console. Now see the API call. Okay. I provided the data. My button got enabled. I clicked on it. My loader is also available, but I clicked multiple times. See, multiple APIs are happening. We have shown the loader, but let's say again API call is taking some time to get the response. Again, user might click, or he might accidentally double click also. So duplicate API calls are happening with the same data. Multiple API calls are happening. How to overcome this problem? Like how do we reduce the duplicate API call now? Hmm.
By disabling the button.
That is one way. Another way, but here already we have the disable flag for the form. Is there another way in .ts we can do?
Yeah, and the submit button we can do that, right?
Yeah, I see. Either we can disable the button. Once user clicked on it, this variable is getting true. So we can add this condition also over here. So button will get disabled. Okay. Sometimes according to the project, they won't ask you to disable the button, but we have to restrict the duplicate API call. Now, where you will write that code?
In the TS we can write some functions.
Mhm.
In TS code we have to write some, once click the button, we have to
Mhm.
write form dot invalid like that.
No, but form dot in CC. What is our task? If I click on the button, right? API call is in progress. Again, if I
Okay.
click before getting the response of that API call, I should not be able to again place a new API call. Correct? That is my duplicate API call, na? Yes or
We can
no?
call it switch map, right?
Yes. Yes.
Debounced we
Switch
can
map.
use.
No,
Switch
no, no,
map.
not. Don't go that far. Very
Okay.
simple solution I'm asking. We can go with switch map also. But what switch map does? It will cancel out the previous request and it will consider the new. Do we have that requirement? No.
No.
We don't want to
No.
cancel out the previous request. Na? We just don't want another request to be triggered if already one request is in progress. Understood, everyone?
Then we can create custom class for that
Yes.
No.
dynamic class.
See this code. Solution is over here only. See this code and tell me the solution. What you can do to avoid the duplicate API call.
Can use same variable is API call in progress.
Is API call in
Right?
progress? We have to
See,
check.
this variable we are making it true. So before
Yes.
everything, we just want to check if this variable is false. Correct? If there is variable is false, then only we have to run all this inner code. Correct?
Yes.
Simple solution. By using one variable, now we have achieved two things, loader also, and we have avoided the duplicate API call. That's why I said when we create this variable, by default, I'm keeping it false. So imagine you land onto the page on the click of the save button. Currently, this variable is false, so it will go inside. Immediately, we are making it true. Okay. An API call is in progress, but still API call response is not there. Again, user clicked on the save button, but this API call is true now. It's not false. So it won't go inside. And once the API call is there, then only we are making it true. Got it? Let's test this also. Okay. Just pay attention now. Okay. I'm clicking on multiple times. See, got it? So until my first API call is not there, my code won't execute now because we have added the if condition. And that variable we are making it false again is once we get the response. That's it. Clear? Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
So according to the project requirement, sometimes we add this code or sometimes we disable the button. Various project have various requirement and design and what do we say? How does functionality or how does every page behaves? Based on that, we do that. Sometimes we disable the button. Again, you can use the same variable with or condition over here, right? Either the form is invalid or the this variable is true. So you will disable the button. Clear? So loaders, when we actually work on the project, loaders are very important. We have to show the loader when the page data is loading. We have to show the loader if API call is doing something. Clear? It's a small topic. Okay. But It's very helpful and it's very real time when we work on the project. Okay. Clear, everyone?
Yes.
The tier format is not there, no? Okay. Fine. Anyone having quick question? As I said, like I said, now this was the only topic I wanted to explain. Uh, I think no one has started on the employee.
Sir,
Hmm.
actually, I want to add return the code for the employee and
Yeah, you can take any
edit,
component.
delete. But how I should push the code in your repo
No. You don't
for
have to
you?
push. You can share me the files. I will copy paste it.
Okay, fine.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone else have
In some
completed anything?
time I will share with
Sure.
you, sir.
Anyone else have completed anything in that employee project? Or if anyone wants to work, let me know, because we cannot keep on waiting that much time. Because once we complete that all 5 components, then our project will start to take a shape. So that's why I'm waiting.
सर मला एकदा प्रोजेक्ट एक्सप्लेन करता का?
साधाच प्रोजेक्ट आहे रे. तू ऐकला असेल, कोणत्या तरी बॅच मध्ये घेतला असेल आपला हा.
तो मी रिएक्ट मध्ये केलता आपण.
हा, तर मग
मध्ये म्हणजे फ्लो
एक्सप्लेन
कसा
कशाला
घ्यायचा.
करायचा आहे? सेमच प्रोजेक्ट आहे ना, लॉजिक तर सेमच आहे. ओके,
ओके
करशील का काम?
हो करतो मी. घेतलंय मी आज. चला बघतो.
ठीक आहे. ओके.
तर मी पण करतो. कसं करायचं?
See, first batch 30. See, if you are not working, these are the guys from old batch. They are ready to work. Let me know if I can give the work to them. No one has any issue? Because I can understand everyone is working. It's not easy to work on this task because whole day you are already working on your task. Okay. Fine. Amol and Sushil, in the after 1 hour we can connect and I will explain a little bit. Okay.
सर मैं एक टैप कर लूंगी.
ओके सर, नो प्रॉब्लम.
स्वराली, कौन सा कंपोनेंट स्टार्ट किया आपने?
मैंने स्टार्ट नहीं किया, बस प्रोजेक्ट डिटेल्स ही हुआ था, बट एक टैप कर सकते हो.
हाँ, तो कोई भी एक
वाला
स्टार्ट करो, फिर बाकी मैं इन दोनों को दे दूंगा. ओके. जो स्टार्ट करने वाले वो मुझे बता दो, बाकी सब इनको दे दूंगा मैं.
हाँ.
ओके, फाइन
सर
देन.
मेरा 9:30 का हैंड ओवर कॉल है, लेकिन कंपनी का उससे
10
पहले 1 घंटा चलेगा.
9:30. 9:30 से कब तक है?
1 घंटा चलता है. 1:30 या 11 तक चलता है. नाइट
अरे
शिफ्ट
बाप
है ना
रे.
फिलहाल, तो 1 घंटा चलेगा.
ओके. ठीक है, मैं सुशील को एक्सप्लेन कर दूंगा. ठीक है.
ठीक है, चलेगा. मैं सुशील के साथ कनेक्ट करूँगा.
नॉर्मल क्रड ही है, लेकिन वो क्रड कैसे करना है वो सिर्फ बताना है मेरे को. फाइन.
ओके ठीक है, चलो. या फिर आप
ओके,
कोई भी उसका अगर रिकॉर्ड कर रहे हो तो मुझे खाली भेज दो. मैं
चलेगा.
वर्क नहीं. हाँ
ओके,
पसंद. थैंक यू.
फाइन देन. Tomorrow morning we will have the session. Okay, RxJS, some things are remaining, so we will discuss RxJS again tomorrow morning. Okay, thank you all. Thanks for joining.
Thank you.
Now, this is a template form. Okay, let's say if I ask you, if the location code get changed, you need to write some code. Means on the change of location code text box, you need to write some code. How you will write that? In template form, we have this location code. Once this text box value get changed, we need to write some code. It can be anything, but I need an event. Once this location, this ng model code got changed, means ultimately text box value get changed. How you will write that?
On change or
Right?
input.
First is on change. Then on change will trigger once you click outside, correct? As soon as you change the text box value, it won't trigger. See, on code change. Console.log code changed. Okay. Now let's call this function on change event. See, I'm changing the value, but console is not there. But once I click outside, then your change event will trigger. So this is not so much helpful, correct? Then next is which event we can try? Input, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Once I change the value, immediately I get the call, correct? This is also fine. One more event is there, which is related to your ng model. Okay. Since this text box is binded with ng model, so we have a event related to ng model. What is that? What is that event? An event is related with the ng model. This change event, input event, key up, key down, these are your HTML events, right? But one more event is related with ng model. What will be that? Okay, forget about that. Let's say we have the input only. But here I need to pass the data like event. Like in JavaScript, like dollar event we used to pass. If you need the whole input event data. So what we used to do? Dollar event. Okay. And then that function we will catch parameter we will catch it over here. Okay. Let's add a debugger. So this event object means whatever this what do we say, input is there, na? So this complete event data, you will get it over here. See now, what do you get? Once I change, see in the event, what is the event name? Its current from this event got triggered from which element? So that element also we will get dot current element, current target. See that text box is highlighting. Once I get that, then dot value also you can read. See, so everything, whatever that has the event data, it's event, event name, event triggered from which element, then we got the element. From element, you can access everything. Okay. So someone might ask, because so many times we should know ki how do you pass the event data also. So this is how you pass the event data. Okay. Event. And if you want to pass this event data, whole event data, you can catch it by writing dollar event. Where do we again write this dollar event? Where we have seen
Event
this
emitter
event
output
emitter, right?
at the rate.
In output, if you are passing data with the output, to catch that in your parent component, you write dollar event. Okay. Similar like that. So dollar event, what it gets? The event data. Okay. Now, so one more way is there. If your text box or in any input element is binded with ng model, and if you write a code on if this variable value get changed, so that is like ng model change. Okay. This event will work only if you have binded this text box with the ng model directive, ng model change. Okay. Now see what happens. B. In the event, what we have got? Directly actual
Value.
value. Okay. So if you are using your normal event, change event, click event. So if you pass the dollar event, what you get? The event object. Okay. But in case of ng model change, you actually get the value which is changed over here in the event. So it's not an event, value you get directly. Understood? So in template form, if you want to listen to any your text box value get changed or any drop down value or any checkbox, wherever you are binding your ng model, and if you want to listen to that value changes, so this is the event ng model change. Means whenever this ng model directive value get changed, this event will trigger, and over here you can get the actual value. Clear?
So every time we need to pass dollar event over there.
Yeah, then only you will get it now. Otherwise it will trigger the function, but you here you won't get the value.
Okay, fine.
Okay. See
Yeah.
what more we will try to print. Console.log. We will try to print this dot due location object dot code. This variable we have binded now. So we will try to print this. Okay. See what happens. I have written A. If you see over here, is your variable value got updated? See, in location object code, it is still empty. Okay. Let's continue. If I type B, now if you check the object, previous value A only got updated. So when the ng model change event get triggered, before your variable value get changed, before that your ng model change event get triggers. So that's why if you need the updated value, you have to pass it as a dollar event. Because when you use the ng model change event, okay, your actual variable value, whatever the variable you have binded, that is not changed yet. Before changing that event, this event will, before changing your variable value with the text box value, this event will get trigger. Clear? So to get the
Yes.
updated value, you have to pass dollar event. Here you will get the updated value. Clear? So there are so many cases where you have to go for a ng model change, but at that time you cannot directly access the variable value like this. You have to pass the query parameter of dollar event only. Here you get the updated value. Clear? Why ng model change is required? Clear, everyone? See, these are small things, but again related to project scenarios only. So many times it happens that we cannot use key down or input or something. Our text box is binded with ng model, so we have to go for ng model change. Or not even that. Sometimes when you work on any task, you commit the code, you push, you create the PR, your TL will ask you to use ng model change instead of going for input. Normally we don't use input in Angular. It will work the same, but we don't use that. A right way to write a code on the text box value change, if that text box is binded with ng model, is the ng model change. So we should be aware about this also. Clear, everyone? And this will work only if your text box is binded with ng model. If your text box is normal one, you cannot write this. Okay, then normal your change event you can write. Clear all? Anyone having any doubt? Okay. So this is with template form. Now same thing if we have to do in reactive form. Okay. In reactive, it is little bit complex now. And here we are going to do it with RxJS. Whenever you are also doing the practice, now make sure you open these two files together so you can see everything properly. Okay. Here. Now, this is our reactive form. Okay. In this reactive form, we have this control here. By default, we are setting it, setting the value as 2005. And this here we have binded over this text box also. Now, if you need to write a code, if year value got changed, you need to write the code. Same thing what we have done it over here. On this text box change, you need to write some code. Okay. Again, you can go for your click change event and everything also. Okay. But right way to do that, console, sorry, on year change. Okay. Console.log changed. Okay. This function we can call it over here on change event or event your input event. Same thing will happen. Reactive year. If I change it to 21 and click outside, my change event got triggered. Okay. Instead of change, we can use the input also. Input, key down, key up, all events will work the same and behave the same also. See, working. But a proper way to do is we can subscribe to the value changes of this control. We can subscribe. Okay. Now, how do we do that? So this dot our reactive form, new car form dot controls. This is our reactive form, right? See, our reactive form name is new car form. So from our form, we have in our reactive form, we have controls. So from this control, we want to watch out for year control. So square bracket and single quotes. This is how, where do we use like this? When do we use like this? When do we use like this? What is this syntax? When do we use this? Square bracket single quote. All right. We have seen this multiple times. When do we use this syntax? Where do we use this? On object, na? When you try to access the object, either you go by dot or second way like this, correct? Let me show you reactive form. How does reactive form looks? Let's add a debugger over here. Okay. Now if I write this dot new car form dot controls, see what type of data we have it over here? Object, na?
Object.
If you want to listen to the ear, if you want to get the ear, so what you write? Dot ear, na? Correct? Like this, or square bracket single quote. Yes or no? Square bracket single quote. Here, like this also. So either you access the property by dot or by square bracket single quote. Yes or no? Okay. So that
Yes.
is the syntax. So here. So what we did, from our reactive form, we have selected our particular control. Now, if you add the dot, value changes. What data value changes is returning?
Observable.
Right? See, observable it is returning. If it is returning observable, so you can subscribe to it. So dot subscribe. Okay. Value. And inside this, I will print console.log year value. See now. Six. See, year value you got 26. See, year value you got. So what we are actually doing, we are subscribing or we are listening to every time this text box value get changed. Means ultimately this text box is connected with our control and control is from our this form. So we are subscribing to the value whenever this value change from this reactive form of this control. Whenever a value change, we are actually subscribing to that. Clear? Understood? So in reactive form, if someone asks you to write a code, if any control value get changed, so we write like this. Our reactive form dot control, we provide a specific control, then we write dot value changes and we subscribe to the value. So this is how you write the code on reactive form. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now the benefit of this. Let's say once the reactive form get initialized, while initializing I'm setting as 2025. But in constructor, in set timeout, let's say after 5 seconds, I'm changing the, I want to change this year to something else. So what, how do we change the reactive form control value from .ts? If I want to change the value of this control, how do we change it? So this dot, your reactive form Dot, again you need to select the control. So control, square bracket, single quote, year. So this is how you selected your particular control from your reactive form. Dot. What will be the method? What can be the method? We want to change the control value. What can be the method name?
Set.
Set is there. What will be the method we have to use? Set value. Okay. Round bracket. And I'm setting as 2029. Okay. So see, when I'm initializing a form, I'm setting the value as 2025. In constructor, after 5 seconds, I'm changing it to 2019. And now see what happens when this subscribe will execute. By default, it is 25. After 5 seconds, it will change. Wait, why our subscribe didn't execute it then? We have done the set value here. Okay. Can anyone try to think why our set this subscribe didn't execute? Why this subscribe didn't? And now if I change, first of all, we don't have to write this on year change, and we don't need this also. This was for normal. Okay. We don't need to write. Whenever we subscribe now, we don't have to write this in any function. We can do that in constructor also. Now we don't need this function as well. Okay. When you in reactive form, if you want to write a code on any control value change, you don't have to write anything over here in the HTML. You can directly write it over here only. Okay, let's see this one more time. Okay. Save. 25 it is there. See, once it got converted to 29, see my value changes got triggered. So it's not just from your HTML, if the value get changed, your subscribe will trigger. From your .ts also, if you change the control value, your subscribe will trigger. Doesn't matter. Got it? So either you change this control value from .ts or from HTML, your subscribe will execute again. Got it? So if you write that input event, just like previously we have done. So in case of input event, if the text box value get changed, then only your event will trigger. But if that control value get changed from your .ts, that won't trigger. See, this is the key difference why we have to go for value changes. Let's say you have gone with that input event. Okay. If the text box value get changed, then only that input value will input function will trigger. But let's say if you change the control value like this, so in that case, your function won't trigger. Getting it? If you gone with your normal key down input or change event, only if user interacted with the form, then only your event will trigger. If user change it, if you have some specific code and based on some other field, you are changing the control value like this. So in that case, your input, whatever the event you have written, that won't trigger. So that's why to make it everywhere, doesn't matter your particular control value is getting changed from your HTML form or from .ts, and you want to write a code on that. So this is the right way. Value changes. Either it change from HTML or .ts, it can subscribe to it. Got it? Understood?
Yes. So
Okay.
what is the right way then
This is
when
only
we
value
have
changes only.
no
In case
when
of
we have the reactive form controller group
Hmm.
all
Hmm.
and we have the API on uh, get product by ID and how to set that value when we get from
Yeah.
the API side.
Okay. You are saying get by ID and
Yes,
you want
get
to
by ID.
reinitialize your form. This is also you
Right.
can do in case of edit we are doing now. Here we get the data and we are
Mhm.
reinitializing our form. Either you do this, see, how do you set the form value now? This is our reactive form, right? So either
Mm-hmm.
if a specific control value you need to set, you can do this by set value.
Mm-hmm.
When let's say particular control value only you need to change, so you can use set value also. Or you have a patch value also. So this dot new car form dot patch value, and here you need to pass the whole object key value pair data. How do we use? Anyone remembers how to use the patch value? You just need to pass the value or key value pair data. Let me see. I also not used patch value in reactive form. Okay, key value and key value mean data. So patch value car ID colon your car data dot car ID, like this. All the properties you can set. So in case of edit, na, what we do? Let's say on click of edit, you get the data from currently in from array only we send the data. Here only in the parameter you got it, right? But if you are doing the API call integration on click of edit and in the subscribe you get, so same code will be going over there. Okay.
Okay.
So either you reinitialize the form with the value, see, instead of initialization default value, I'm passing the value, or you can use the patch value also. Okay.
Okay.
When you want to update the whole form, you go for the patch value. And if you want to update any particular control value, so you go for a set value. By selecting particular control, you change the value. Okay.
Okay. Mm.
Clear everyone? Set value you use when you want to update a particular control value. And patch value you use when you want to update the whole form value. Okay. Now, so this value changes. Here what we are actually doing, we are listening to the particular control value got changed. But let's say you have a requirement that if any, you have a big form and if any form value get changed, you need to write a code. So we can listen to whole form also. New form dot value changes. Here also we got it. Value console.log. Okay. This is for a specific year control and this is overall form. See now what happens. If I change model, see, I'm getting the updated model. See, SA. If I'm changing the year, see, SA 2021. So this is from year and this is from your whole form changes. If I change the image also, getting it? So in reactive form, we can listen to the whole form value also. And here you get the updated object also. You know, how look like your reactive form dot value, what you used to get na, same object you get it over here. Updated whole form data object you get it over here. This will trigger when a specific year value get changed. But this will trigger for all the control. Doesn't matter which control value get changed. Overall form we are listening. Whenever there is a change in a form value, this subscribe will execute. Clear? Understood or no?
Yes.
Okay. So normally, if we talk about the projects, 80% chances are there that they normally go for a reactive form. Why? Because of these things. A very proper way is there to deal with the reactive form. Okay, same thing we can do in template also, but there is a custom way. Everyone can do it with their own way. But in reactive form, we have specific way to complete something. So that's why every company will go at least a proper project, industrial project, enterprise level application. Always they will go for a reactive form. Clear? Anyone having any doubt? Okay, one more thing I will explain. Let's say if year is 2000, let's say 2025. If year is 2025, so daily rate should not be greater than, let's say, 500. This is our business logic. If the car you are registering, if the year manufacturing year is 2025 only, so daily rate cannot be greater than 500. This is the validation you need to add. How you will write it now? What you will do? And if user provided 700, and if the value is 2025, we have to remove it to empty again. How you will do that? Understand the problem statement? If the car year is 2025 and user provided greater than 500 in the daily rate, so we have to remove that value and again set it to 0, and we might have to show the alert box also. How you will do it? How many value changes you will need?
No, only one.
Only one, okay? On this daily rate change. Once this daily rate change, we will check the value of this control. If this value control is 2025, then we have to check the value over here and then if else, right? Let's quickly write that. So this dot new form dot controls square bracket daily rate on change of this value changes round bracket value round bracket wait sorry
Subscribe.
no yeah subscribe value. Okay, now here if condition. Now how you will write the if condition? What will be the condition over here? We need to check if year is 2025. So we need to check the control value. So this dot new form dot control square bracket single quote, which control value you need? Year dot value equal to 2025. If it is 25, we will say the alert. Sorry, here we got the year only. Second condition will be and if value means what is this? Daily rate. If daily rate is greater than 500. If this condition satisfied, if the year is 2025 and daily rate is greater than 500, then we have to show the alert saying for cars with 2 tons by year, daily rate can't be greater than 500. Clear? Understood now? Let's test
Yes,
it
sir.
also. Currently year is 25. Let's say if I go with 700. Wait, why didn't happen? Let's try to debug. I think string or integer might be problem because here we are considering as integer, but there we might have the string value. Let's check. Okay. If you check the value, what's the data type of year? String, na? And we are comparing as an integer. Got it? So we have to compare it as a string. Okay, on the page load, we are changing it to 29. Na? Let's change it to 25 again. Now if I pass, say 100. Okay. Now my current value is 25. Hey, why we are getting, how come we are again getting in the integer and how it was previously with the number? Let's make it 25. Okay. So here is 25. So this condition will get true. Daily rate is obviously greater than 500. So it will go inside and it will show the alert box. Got it? So like this, when we work on the project, so many combinations are there. Like if this text box value is this, or so many fields has some validation according to that. So like this, we write the code. Again, like with normal project, we cannot cover all the scenarios, but you got the idea, right? In actual project, let's say you have 50 to 60 form field. And if a one text box value get changed or even a one checkbox value get changed, so many text box validation and everything gets changed. So we write a code like this. We subscribe to the value changes where we actually need to write and we write our condition and then we show alerts to the user. We have to provide instruction to the user like this is what rules are. Clear? Understood? Anyone having any doubt?
Yes, if it is alert bot, then we can
Again,
show like this. But validators, how to
we can add the dynamic
show?
validation also. See, scenario what we can do. Mm, You know that max value and min value is there. Let's say on this daily rate, let me start the recording meeting again. Join again. Okay. So let's say scenario is if registration number is provided, then only car image will be mandatory. Otherwise, it will be optional. Okay. If registration number is provided, then only car image will be mandatory. Otherwise, it will be optional. Got it? The rule? Understood or no? This car image will be mandatory if registration number is provided. Otherwise, it will be optional. Means we have to add a dynamic validation. So this text box will be have the validators required if registration number is empty, not empty. Okay. So by default, car image doesn't have any validation. Now, if the registration number value get changed, so again we need to write a code. So this dot new form dot controls. Which control we need to watch? Registration number dot value changes dot subscribe round bracket. Okay. Let me share it again. Let me know once visible. Visible?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So if the registration value get changed, we need to write the code. So what we will do, if registration value is not equal to empty, means it has some value. So we have to add the validation. So this dot new form dot controls, sorry, square bracket single quote. What control? Car image. This is where we need to add the validation. Here, so here what we have done, we have selected particular control. Now we have to add the validation. So dot add validation, validators. Okay. Now what validator you need to add? So validators, what it needs, array or what? Either we can pass a validator function or validator array. So validators dot required. Okay. Fine. So this is how you add a dynamic validation. Either you add the validation while creating the form, but let's say if some text other control value get changed, and after that you need to condition based you need to add the validation. So you add like this, add validator. And in the else we need to remove it also, correct? If the text box value is again empty, so obviously we need to remove it. Na? So same thing. Instead of add validator, what it can be? What might be the method name? In case of add, it is add validator. In case of if we have to,
Remove.
right? So remove validation. What validators we want to remove? But there is a small catch. Whenever you add the validation or remove the validation, you need to update your form. So how do you do that? So this dot new form dot update value and validity. So this function you need to call. Then only your validation will get to know in the template. Okay. So whenever you add the
That
validation,
means
hmm,
form dot uh, valid or invalid get that value get
yeah,
changed if
yes,
you add the dynamic
right.
value. Okay.
If you just do like this, it will in the .ts only you have that validation. Okay. If you don't write this, you have added the validation, but that is limited till .ts only because reactive form doesn't support two-way data binding. Okay. So to instruct HTML template that value has been changed, we have to run this. So then your HTML form also will get to know like validation got changed. Okay. So whenever you add a dynamic validation, you have to run this method again. So this will update your form in the HTML also. Understood? So
फिर
this
ये
is
ऐड वैलिडेटर
hmm,
वैलिडेटर इनबिल्ट है क्या मतलब फॉर्म वैलिडेशन के लिए
repeat one more. Your voice is breaking.
ऐड वैलिडेटर एंड रिमूव वैलिडेटर
Hmm.
आपने जो लिखा है
Hmm.
ये टैग पहले से है क्या मतलब
हाँ,
फॉर्म
रिएक्टिव फॉर्म में है पहले से। जैसे वैल्यू चेंजेस है, जैसे हम वैल्यू रीड कर सकते हैं, सेट वैल्यू है, वैसे ही एक फंक्शन है रिएक्टिव फॉर्म पे, स्पेसिफिक कंट्रोल पे। तो हम by using this we are adding, see how do you add validation while declaring a form like this. See, on brand and model we have added the validation, but let's say on some particular control you want to add the validation after some value got changed, right? Dynamically validation or condition based validation you need to add. So in this what we are saying ki if registration number is not empty, then only we need to add the validation. If registration is empty, we don't need validation. So by adding validator, you are adding the validator. By removing, you are actually removing the validator. Understood?
Yes.
So whenever you add an update, this line should be there. Okay. This is how you add a dynamic validation. Clear? Again, so
Yes, sir.
many things are there in reactive form, but everything I cannot explain right now. Not everyone will know.
कंट्रोल ऐड करना है इतना
हाँ,
बता दो सर प्लीज.
नहीं वो अपन डायनामिक फॉर्म ग्रुप में देखेंगे वो फॉर्म
ओके
अरे
ओके
में जो
फाइन.
बाकी है अपना उसमें बताऊंगा,
ठीक
यहाँ
है.
पे समझेगा नहीं वो.
ठीक है.
ओके. सो रिएक्टिव फॉर्म में अपना एक और बड़ा टॉपिक बचा है, दैट इज हाउ डू यू क्रिएट अ डायनामिक फॉर्म. हमारे एम्प्लॉय में देखो, इन आवर एम्प्लॉय ऑब्जेक्ट वी हैव स्किल्स एंड experiences as multiple. So there we will see that. Fine. So understood everyone. We have seen reactive form advanced thing again with how do we subscribe, and in template also same thing. In template we used to do it with ng model change, and here we do it with value changes. Anyone having any doubt? Again, if you practice this, then only you will understand. Otherwise, it is like one way only. Okay, when I'm explaining, it looks very easy, but when you actually try to write it, you won't get it if you don't practice. Okay, so at least today, have it at least 1 or 2 times. Try to write it. Otherwise, you will forget. Fine. And both in template and the reactive, try the same thing in both the form. First, you try to just consider any scenario like what we have seen, na? Like in registration number is empty and like this. Do the same thing scenario over there and try the same thing over here in reactive. Okay, fine. Anyone having any quick doubt? Otherwise, we can good to close.
Sir, I don't have this repo
This repo you don't have.
access or no.
Anyone have this repo? The first project? Let me check. Where do I have that? The remote. Okay, not copyright. Let me check git status. What's the use of git status?
Like
To
what
check
you
which file got changed
Right? No.
and which branch we are in.
The branch and what are the file changes we have. How do we
Right.
check the remote? Git remote. Okay. Wait. This is the repo, okay? Just clone it. All the code is from the first day over here. Just the basic topic.
Okay, sir.
Okay, fine then. In the evening, we will connect for JavaScript today. Okay. Thanks all.